Mr. Uriarte, how many staff members do you have at DOJ's Office of Legislative Affairs?
Congressman, thank you for the question. The Office of Legislative Affairs at DOJ is actually a relatively small component. We have a total of 25 full-time staff positions. I believe we have 21 total full-time people currently in our office, in addition to some detailees.
How many are dedicated specifically to responding to subpoenas from Congress?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. The way that we have structured the team is to have a number of different attorneys who can do multiple different things at the same time. So depending on what the matter is and how it comes into the department, et cetera, we may staff it differently. So it really just depends on the matter.
No one has their job description solely as responding to subpoenas?
No, that's correct, Congressman.
How many members of your staff are working remotely?
I don't know the answer to that question, but we have implemented some flexibility in our work arrangements with our staff to accommodate various requests, and frankly, we found it to be quite productive.
Would you say that that would be deterring any production of our requests?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Who makes the final decision about what requests to respond to and how much information to provide?
I appreciate the question, Congressman. What I can tell you is that at the department, we are always going to be guided by finding the most efficient and effective way to get you the information you need. That means that we'll work with the impacted components. We will work with them to identify what materials are at issue, how we can get you the information, et cetera. And then we will try to get that information over to you. There's no specific one person who is making that decision. It is a number of different equities within the department that come together to provide Congress with the information they're looking for. And again, what will guide us there is to finding the most efficient and effective way to get you the information that you're looking for.
Okay. So your first go-to when deciding about what requests to respond to is not Paul Coburn?
Congressman, actually the first go-to that I would start with in determining what to respond to would be to work with your staff, frankly. You know, I think that conversations that happen between our staff and your team are the most productive and can really help guide us to what is the priorities of the committee, what are the key informational interests of the committee, and it really helps us to do our job of being efficient, as efficient as possible.
Okay. Let's talk about your budget. Can you estimate your budget for FY23?
So the Office of Legislative Affairs falls within the GA bucket. I think that's the general administration bucket. We don't have a specific line item in the budget. I know the spend plan is still pending before the Appropriations Committee, so I don't have that precise number on me, but I'm happy to follow up with your team on that.
And how much of your budget would you say, since you can't articulate what your budget is, how much do you think you spend on responding to these requests?
I think it would be hard to put a number on that. What I can say is that it is something that takes up a significant amount of staff time within the Office of Legislative Affairs. And that's because it is a priority for us. As the Attorney General has articulated previously, being responsive to Congress is significant to him. It is a significant priority to him. And to me personally, as a former congressional staffer, I think this is really something that we ought to be prioritizing. And so it's harder to talk about it in terms of dollars and cents, but what I can certainly speak to is the amount of staff time that we dedicate to this process.
Well, quantify that then. Quantify that staff time for me. Half? Quarter?
It really depends on the moment in time you're talking about, but it is a significant investment of time by the staff in our office.
Okay. How many are on staff at the FBI to respond to these requests, and how much of their budget is dedicated to responding?
It's a good question, sir. I can tell you they have about 30 full-time staff members in their Office of Congressional Affairs. They work with others at the FBI, obviously, to respond to your requests, and I know they share my commitment to being responsive to your requests.
Okay. Can you speak to the specific dollar figure for their budget?
I cannot, but I'm happy to get back to you.
Okay. We definitely expect you to speak for the FBI, because that's what we were assured of today. Was we were told, oh, the FBI doesn't need to be there because DOJ can speak for them. So if you don't have those numbers for us right now, I'm disappointed, but I would appreciate you getting them for me. What was the policy of the DOJ in responding to requests from the minority last year? Did you respond?
Congressman, last year we did send a number of responses to the committee. I believe in response to 48 letters from Ranking Member Jordan, we sent 34 letters in response.
What about documents?
I don't have that number in front of me, but I can tell you that certainly in this Congress, we are committed to producing documents and information in response to the chairman's letters, and we're going to continue to do so, just as we did in the first production to the committee a couple weeks ago.
Thank you.